Audra. We're going to talk about starting Brussels sprouts. All right, don't glaze over on me. I know not everybody likes Brussels sprouts, but I'm telling you, if you don't, you just haven't had them the right way. There are so many ways to have Brussels sprouts. So I've got two different kinds I'm starting today. I've got the green ones from Burpee, the Long Island Improved, and then from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, we've got the red Rubine. It's another different Brussels sprout. I've actually been trying to grow as many of the purple and red, blue type varieties. There's just more nutrition in those. But I still got the old standby of the green ones. Our tray here, we've got pony packs in here. These are packs of 4. Okay, so this is a pony pack. It has 4 cells in it, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm actually going to start 2 seeds in each cell. So I'll have 8 growing in each one. That gives me a chance if I have a seed that doesn't germinate, I've got another one that hopefully will. And if I do end up with all 8, I can actually split them, pot them up to a larger pot, or get them straight into the garden depending on how well they're doing. Now, our family eats Brussels sprouts like candy, like it's going out of style. So I know for a fact we have to grow a lot of Brussels sprouts. Now this is the first week of March, which means this is my first planting for the season. And every 2 weeks from now until the 1st of June, the first week in June, I will be planting more each week. Depending on how many germinate as we go along, will determine how much I'm going to keep planting. But I know that approximately 50 to 75 plants is what's going to be enough to harvest from to feed our family. And because Brussels sprouts are the way they are, they're like a huge attractant to aphids and the white caterpillar moth. And terrible, like it'll wipe out your crops. So if you're growing these, please plan on like some sort of a row cover to protect them. Otherwise, you know, I know they say when you garden, you're sharing with nature, but when you're sharing your entire crop, that's not sharing. So anyway, plan to protect your plants, because otherwise it's just going to be wiped out. And that's one of the #1 things people complain about. So let's start with the Long Island Improved. The seeds are super, super tiny. Like they're literally like the end of a pencil. Very small. And I have here a wooden skewer. This is like what you get for barbecuing on. I love these for planting. It's got the perfect end there. So I'm just going to poke 2 holes in each one, and I'm only going down about 1/4 of an inch. You only want to plant 2 to 3 sizes. The depth of your seed is how deep you want to go. So as small as those seeds are, I'm only going to go about 1/4 of an inch. My soil is already wet. I got it nice and moist earlier. And one of the ways you can know if your soil is moist enough is when you've got it wet, push like one of these down there, or like a popsicle stick, or even your finger, push it down in there. And if you come back with dry soil stuck, that means you've not got it moist enough. You've got to get it nice and saturated so it's not stealing moisture from that germinating seed. As you go, you don't want your soil to be extremely moist and end up causing issues like stem rot and fungus and everything like that. But you also do not want to dry your seeds out, because if you dry your seeds out, they're toast. You're just going to end up starting over. I've done that. I've cooked some seeds on accident. It's not very much fun. So then I just put them in the hole. You can kind of make sure you don't get any stuck on there, and plant them in there. Now these guys are going to go in the greenhouse, but I've started in my house as well. You don't have to have a heat mat. These guys do just fine starting without heat, but heat will speed them up, speed up that germinating process. But if you don't have a heat mat, you don't have to go out there and rush to go buy one. Stick the seed cells, make sure you put them on something that's going to catch any water. But stick them on top of like a refrigerator or a freezer. There's a lot of natural heat that comes off of there, and it'll help those seeds to germinate. So today, because I'm going to be succession planting, where did I have to think where I was ending. So today, because I'm succession planting, I'm only going to be starting 2 pony packs of the green and 2 pony packs of the purple red Brussels sprouts. But that's 16 plants of each. That's 32 plants started today. So we're well on our way to being able to get to as close to 50 to 75 healthy plants. Because remember, we've got room for error there too. You know, there's going to be the chance of them dying, pest pressure if they get past my barrier. Maybe something happens to my seeds when I'm growing them. You know, there's all sorts of issues that could happen. So when I do these guys, for the first week or so until they germinate, I'm just going to be watering with plain water. I have this wonderful 1-gallon sprayer here. I love it. It doesn't wash the seeds away when I water them. It's just perfect without causing any issues. So anyway, that's what I like. I like it has the wand, and I can just spray where I need it and what I need, and that's it. They don't even need light the first bit of time that you're doing them. You don't even need to worry about light. They're going to be just fine because these seeds do not need light to germinate. So I'm going to cover these guys up real quick. Whenever I'm talking to the camera, I always wonder, did I get every single cell? And of course, when I go back and edit, I'll be like, oh, maybe I missed or double seeded. But anyway, talking to you guys, I just get to planting or not. Now, once these guys emerge, I am going to change how I water them. So I have a gallon milk jug, and in that gallon milk jug, I put some hot water, and I put in that gallon 2 tea bags of chamomile tea, just regular chamomile tea, and I steep that in there, and then I add 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt and 2 tablespoons of fish emulsion and 2 tablespoons of kelp. Let's see. Yeah, and that's it. And anyway, that's how I feed my seedlings as they're growing. And then in the soil here, it's a mix of not only just planting soil, but I also add steer manure to this, so it's got extra to feed these seedlings. And, a lot of people say you don't have to do that. Your seeds are getting plenty from the seed that they came from. It's giving them nutrition, and then they're only in these for so long. But why not give your seed the best fighting chance to be the most robust seedling you can possibly have? It's going to feed you and your family, right? So give it the best chance you have. Now, you're probably thinking, Epsom salt, why on earth would I put salt in with my plants? Well, there's very little salt. Like, you'd have to add quite a bit to be a problem. What you're after is the minerals in the Epsom salt. You're after those minerals. And the plants will thank you for that. They absolutely go crazy for those minerals. And then the fish and the kelp just is a natural, wonderful fertilizer that just jump starts those seedlings. So I'm going to go ahead and plant these purple ones in here real quick. Now these guys, they'll come up in anywhere between 7 to 14 days. If you have them on heat, sometimes they'll emerge just a little bit sooner. Depends on how vigorous the seedlings are going to be. Some varieties are super growers. The nice thing about doing this every 2 weeks is I'll know what the germination rate is with these, and I can adjust for that. And then, like I said, if you have any that you lose to different issues in your seed starting, you've got backup. Okay, tuck these guys in real quick. I'm not like jamming it down. I'm not really pushing them down. I'm just kind of making sure that they're covered. It's real easy like that. Now the nice thing about, because I said I do this every 2 weeks, by doing it every 2 weeks, I'm able to actually extend our harvest season. So instead of having where I've got seedlings that are ready to go, or not seedlings, instead of my crop having like boom all at once, and I have to get this all processed at once, which can be a real pain in the rear end when you've got a massive garden and you've got a lot of things doing that at once. By doing it this way, by succession planting and starting every 2 weeks, I can extend my harvest out. I have plants that are ready, some that are almost ready, getting ready, and not quite. So extend that so I'm not in a mad rush to get it all done at once. That's also going to keep the pests from being a complete problem. Now, when I'm labeling these, you've got different choices. These ones are really popular, the little plastic labels. I love popsicle sticks. I love them because they're really cheap and they're biodegradable. Now, don't be one of those people, please do not write on these or these with marker. Even if it says permanent marker, it's not going to stay permanent. Trust me, I've tried. Don't write on it in pen and don't write in marker. You want the old standby number 2 pencil. It doesn't fade, it doesn't wash off. Now, true, sometimes your popsicle sticks will get miscolored from they're soaking up some of the moisture and stuff. For the most part, you can still see what you wrote on them versus it just being gone, and you end up posting a picture on Facebook saying, "Help! What did I plant?" And a lot of plants look the same, so you have to just hang on and wait. It's the guessing game. So on these guys, and even on these ones, I like to cut them in half. I break them in half, and then I'll write on it what they are. I'm not going to bore you to death with the whole waiting on me to write on them process. So anyway, these are a really great crop for spring. You know, get them started in the spring. You'll harvest them in the summer. And then right around the end of July to August, I'll start them again and be planting out, and we'll harvest these starting sometimes in September, clear through October, and even into November if we have a really mild November. So there you go. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Any comments, leave them below. Consider hitting that thumbs up, thumbs down, I don't care, whichever one you want. Hey, consider subscribing. I got all sorts of fun videos coming out. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.